Good afternoon, traders. It is Monday the 23rd, and I am back. I am back from the high seas, and it's time to get back to work. So this is the Godly Trading half hour, and we're going to go over today based on this particular verse here. This is from Proverbs chapter 27, excuse me. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. Why? For riches are not forever, nor does a crown endure to all generations. What does it mean? It means that whatever you do, stay on top of everything that you do. One of the difficulties as you expand and grow in trading is that you start to have more and more to do, and it can be a lot, especially if you're trading different styles, different accounts, different markets. One of the easy ways to accomplish that, or to overcome all of that extra burden, is to segment your day. I love how in Genesis chapter 1, God shows his creation method by saying, hey, we're gonna just separate this from that, light from dark. By the way, God doesn't create dark. God just creates light and separates from the dark, this from that. So for instance, I do when I do day trading, it's in the morning. When I do swing trading, it's in the afternoon. I do my monthly wheel strategy on the weekends, that kind of thing. So separating these things is a good way to maintain the state of your flocks. So I was on a cruise last week. We got back on Sunday, got back to Galveston, and they're like, get off our ship. That's rude, don't you think? I mean, spent the whole week, had a great time, and they're like, all right, great, got to go. Anyway. Before we go any further, I wanted to go over it, and this is my first time taking a look at some of this stuff. I want to just take a look at the calendar for the week. Let's do that right there. So today, what am I looking for? I'm looking for things that are going to really affect either my day trading or my swing trading. Swing trading is really only affected by big announcements. Day trading can be affected by medium-sized announcements. So inflation, if I was day trading the yen, that would affect it. I typically day trade the metals and the indices. So that's what I'm looking for here. Employment change weekly is not really one that affects it. Australia, CPIs. If I was day trading the Aussie, that would be a big deal. Let's look at import, export. Nope, nothing there. Thursday, going down the list. You say, well, how do you know how do you know what news is going to affect what? Well, first of all, you can look at these. This is from my FX book. Another good one out there is FX Street. No, FX Forex Factory. Well, I don't trade Forex. It doesn't matter. They have a great calendar that shows when all of these things are going to be scheduled. The only thing it won't show is a particular stock's earnings, but that's going to be specific to that particular stock. So anyhow, I like this one because it's all in one spot, and you have these red, orange, and green. I turned the green off, and gray. So looking for jobless claims is not really a thing. Inflation, wholesale. So none of these are really going to move the needle this week when it comes to day trading or swing trading. So it looks like this is actually a great week to go out there and trade with confidence that, yeah, barring a tweet or a war or an alien invasion, you're going to have clear sailing this week without a lot of bumps in the road from an external source. So I put in the thumbnail, we're going to check in on Frank, the trading robot. Now, you might say to yourself, I thought Frank was this daily chart thing that's so wonderful. Frank actually had a pretty bad week while I was on my cruise from a swing trading standpoint. I think I was in 3 trades and all 3 of them stopped out, which is pretty unusual for Frank. But I put together a day trading version of Frank, and I tried it for a day on the 5-minute chart. I tried it for a day on the 15-minute chart. Let me show you the results. Let me show you the state of my flock, if you consider 2 different versions of Frank to in fact be a flock. Let's look for it. So this is the new account where we are trading Frank and Forrest, 2 types of Frank and Forrest all together in one account. So I separate them out by magic number because an algorithm can do that. So you can see right now we're down 2% since the beginning of the month, which is not great. Had a pretty good day, which is pretty good. Overall, less than 50% win rate. But again, this is a couple of different strategies. By the way, this happens a lot. Someone says, well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. Find some way to be able to analyze your individual strategy individually. All the trading in the world is useless if you can't evaluate how you are doing. Biblical concepts here, constantly aligning our daily life to God's word. You want to constantly be aligning your daily activities to the plan that he has given you when it comes to trading. In order to do that, if you've got a hodgepodge of things all in one account, find some way to segregate them out so that you can look at them individually. So for me, since over on MT5, the 3 different things that I'm trading, each one has, I can assign a magic number or a comment to it, separate them out. So go back to what we were doing a second ago, and let's take a look. This is everything in together. This is the results of just Frank on the 5-minute chart for one day. We had 29 trades in one day, which is a lot for me. 29 trades in one day, trading US yen, NDX. So it was 3 indices, 3 Forex pairs, and 3 metals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So it was gold, silver, and oil. It was the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the London, the FTSE. Why in the world are you trading that? Because that's what's open that time of day. 7 a.m. my time, NASDAQ is starting to open, S&P is starting to open, and all those big boys in London are finishing up their day. So that's a nice overlap when it comes to trading indices. So I got the 3 biggest indices that are moving at that time of day. I've got 3 metals that are always moving, and then I've got the 3 biggest Forex pairs that are moving that time of day. Euro US, pound US, and US yen. And you can see the only one that did very well for that one day was the UK 100. We only took 2 trades there. We took 8 trades on NASDAQ, and man, did it lose money. That's really just 2 trades, to be honest. Trading 0.5% per trade, this just represents 2 negative trades. So we had 3 winners and 5 losses. Did we have anything that was positive that day on win? Well, the UK 100. All right, so 5-minute chart is not great for it. It traded all day long, by the way, not just that time period. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Don't let me forget. I need to circle back and talk about time filtering. Time filtering. Let's remember that. So the next day, this was last Monday, the next day on Tuesday. So, all right, let me switch it from the 5-minute chart to the 15. Hey, if you're a swing trader and you want to day trade, I would highly recommend the 15-minute chart as your first foray either into day trading or back into day trading. Gives you time to think. When I was trading Frank manually on the 5-minute chart, by the time I saw the setup and was done putting things in and went to click the button, price had already moved. I had missed it. And so I said, okay, I'll put Frank on remote control. I'll have it automatically do all the setup for me. All I've got to do is make some analysis, mental gymnastics, and click a button. Even then, it was kind of fast, and I would miss some of those trades because of that. So I just put Frank on total autonomous on the 5-minute chart. Well, dropping down to the 15-minute chart, we have all the time in the world to get the trade set up and then to wait because you got that countdown timer. Hey, this candle is going to close in a minute. All right, we're probably going to close doing what we want to do. Well, for Frank, that's an engulfing candle. Hey, we're probably going to close above or below the whole moving average. That's one of our signals. We're ready to go, ready to go. All right, click into the button. The 15-minute chart gives you time to breathe. And you still can get in and out in one day's worth of trading. The best hybrid scenario there is 15-minute chart. Set it and forget it. Don't sit there and stare at your screen. Do your setups. Take the time. Trust your setups. Trust your plan. And then let it loose into the world, and whatever happens according to your plan. So 5-minute chart, not great. 15-minute chart, much better. We had 0.75% winning day, 2 minor, well, 1% and minus 1%, excuse me. minus 0.18%. I don't know how that managed to happen. And then a 1% loss day. And then today was a 4% update. Today was a good day. Interestingly enough, still over here on whatever, on the total profit, that London FTSE is still, I forget what FTSE stands for, FTSE, UK 100 for a lot of people, is still the best performer. It took the most number of trades, 78% win rate. And look at this, it made 3.5% in a week, followed by gold and silver as positive. And then I turned off the Forex pairs because I was hedging and didn't realize it. I had Forrest over here long the pound US and Frank over here short the pound US. And a lot of prop firms frown upon that as well as the US government. Only a hedge fund can hedge. The rest of us, ordinary mortals, can't do it. Anyway, but yeah, look, so oil was just basically break even. But the two indices here, man, they did not do well at all with the 15-minute momentum chart. And they ran all day long. The one thing I still need to do in order to fulfill this, to know the state of be diligent to know the state of my flops, I've got to go in here and do a time filter. What do I mean by that? One of the best analyses that you can do for your trading is to go to something as simple as ChatGPT. There's a free version out there for everybody, and just use it as an Excel spreadsheet you can talk to. Dump your trade information into it and say, hey, sort this by time. In my case, I want to know what were the profit and loss results hour by hour for the trade entry. So in other words, all the trades that I entered at during the 7 o'clock hour, what was the result? All the trades that entered at 8 o'clock hour, what were the results? And when you do that, you can start to see patterns emerging. Oh, I love the fact that God puts patterns everywhere, including in our trading. And you do that, and you say, hey, this is what happened with me over on the Forest Gold autonomous algorithm. I dropped it in for 24 hours a day, not very good. Put my results through ChatGPT, and it said, hey, there's this window of time here. It's, I don't know, 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Does really well, just falls off a cliff after that. So that's when I traded. I suspect, I haven't done it yet. I've been on a cruise. I haven't done it yet, but I suspect that when I put this trade data through the filter, I'm going to find a time window where it works really well and a time window when it doesn't. And that's one of the beauties of trading. You say, well, I had this system, and in my head, this system really ought to work. Okay, it's possible the system does work. It just might not work all throughout the day, because the people who are trading out there in the world, and understand that that's what's happening. It's not all robots. There's actual people on the other end trading. They're doing different things at different times. Take for the stock market, for example. Why do we see such massive movement at the end of the day? Because all of the traders who were short at the beginning of the day are having to close their shorts, which means they're buying back the stock at the end of the day. So you see this little spike at the end of the day for all these individual stocks because all of the traders are closing their shorts. They're buying stocks. So in the mornings they're going short, and in the afternoons they're going long. So there's not only a cycle, a rhythm, an ebb and flow to markets throughout the year, throughout the month. The beginning of the month has a completely different feel than the end of the month activity. For those of you who've been watching me for a while, my Bob strategy does really well for the first week and a half, the first third of the month, when traders are out there trying to push price into a trend. And just like you can watch, by the way, highly recommend going into Isaac's trading room in the mornings. He'll say, all right, it's a 5-minute candle. It's the very beginning. So all of the people who are raring to go are going to be trying to push price this way or this way. But give it 5 minutes. Chances are that initial momentum is going to peter out, and then the others are going to come in and try to push it the other way. So you'll have this big spike and then a counter move. Well, trading is trading. And what happens on the 5-minute chart happens on the hourly chart, happens on a slower scale, happens on the daily chart on a slower scale. So you'll find at the beginning of the month, a lot of professional traders are paid based on their returns month by month. So at the beginning of the month, first 10 days, they're doing the exact same thing that traders are doing at the beginning of the day. They're trying to push price in a direction, trying to make it trend and go this way, whatever way it happens to be. And then after a certain period of time, the other ones try to come in and push back. Same thing, the second 5-minute candle of the day, the second 2 weeks of the month tries to push it back. So you'll find that during this ebb and flow, your strategy might have a sweet spot to say, hey, why does mine work for the first 10 days of the month, but not the rest of the time? Actually, Bob works the first 10 days and the last 10 days. Middle 10 days does not. It's because there's a battle going on. Beginning of the month, we're off to the races trending. Bob is a trend following strategy. Middle of the month, there's a battle going on. End of the month, we're back to a trend. Frank and Forrest are both the same way. Frank is more momentum. Forrest is definitely trend. And so just take a look. Don't get wrapped up in this idea of, hey, I'm a day trader. I'm going to trade the open. Take your strategy, test your strategy, and see if it works better. I should say, see if there's a higher probability that it works better certain times of the day than others. I've been mentioned before in Isaac's Trading. One of the things I've seen, people will get that initial momentum. They'll take advantage of it and they're done for the day. With Bob, first 10 days of the month, I take advantage of it and it's done for the rest of the month. So all of that comes through analysis, being careful to know the state of your flock. Know what your strategy can do. Know what it is, not just what it can do, what it should do, but what it is doing. Case in point, Bob here is having a this is Frank. Frank had a not a very good last week, probably because of that same shift in momentum. Right, first part of the month was trending, so we get into these breakouts. Things are continuing. Middle part of the month, kind of going sideways, shifting back and forth. Now I expect the end of the month the trend to pick up again. So same thing is going to happen here with the 15-minute candle, 15-minute chart of the Frank Automated strategy. I will run these through ChatGPT and come back tomorrow and show you, hey, what times is this thing working better than others? I've noticed, by the way, that the UK 100 works really well before market open, before U.S. market open. And then at the end of the day, speaking of Frank, let's do a quick rundown while we still have time. Let's do a quick rundown of where we are and what's been going on. So closed positions so we lost on the Aussie Swiss. Let's go the last 7 days. You see we got, oh my goodness. Nope, last 7 days. There we go. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. That is so unusual for Frank. Come on, you can do it. Oh, 6. Well, those are half trades. Oh my goodness. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 losing trades in a row, which is very unusual but you know what? That's okay. We started, open time is March this one's open forever. So they all basically, look at this. They closed 18th, 19th. Yeah. Classic example of middle of the month chop. What does that mean? Does that mean I should only trade these trending strategies at the beginning and the end of the month? Maybe so. Well, what do I do in the middle of the month? I don't know. Take up knitting. It doesn't matter. Find a different strategy. Find a mean reversion strategy. Something that says, hey, price has stretched out. Now let's go back to the middle. Find a different strategy to trade during the time of the month when your trending strategy isn't working. For now, let's just run down. We're on the daily chart. We are, Frank, and starting on gold. My goodness, look at gold falling off a cliff. All right, so coming down here, looking for trade setups. This is actually, I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. So this is we are open below the whole moving average. We closed above it. This is an engulfing candle. So this is a Frank setup, except the 200 is red. So what it's saying is overall the trend is down. So I happen to trade Frank in this way where I want mid-level, high-level agreements. But if you don't have that filter, if you don't say, I don't care what the long-term trend is, then yeah, there's a signal to go long there on Frank. Coming down, Aussie Swiss, you can see we closed below and then we stopped out. So that one was a loss. Was there a chance we could get out early? No. My strategy says if I had two opposite candles in a row, then I'm out. But the second opposite candle in a row was my stop out. So nothing doing there. Aussie yen. And look, guys, I was at halfway, 3/4 of the way on my prop firm account. Now I'm down to 1/3 of the way. Okay, no big deal. Just keep on trading. Looking for setups and nothing there. This one did not trigger, so we can delete that. And we can turn that off. Nothing going on. And here's one. This one did trigger, and you can see we had our setup, and the next day, boom. There was. I noticed that part of what happened is I was in several CAD pairs, and this happened over on Forest as well. Must have been news on Thursday. All of the Canadian pairs just spiked and got stopped out everywhere. So maybe a rule you've got is I don't want to be overextended in any one pair. Add these rules as life situations happen. Euro Swiss. I am out of Euro Swiss, or am I still in Euro Swiss? Open positions, none. So I'm out of Euro Swiss. I would have had looking for two. So here is when I would have been out on this one, because that's the second opposite candle in a row. So, but basically a full stop out, almost. And I'm showing you the good and the bad. Yeah. Systems don't work 100% of the time. All you can do is probability. As my favorite preacher up in North Mississippi often says, when all you can do is all you can do, then all you can do is enough. Again, here's one that's an Aussie pair, and my second opposite candle in a row was my stop out. Pound CAD, same thing. Boom, got in, and the next day it was out. You cannot plan for that kind of a candle. There's nothing you can do about it. So don't worry about it. Don't say, oh my goodness, I can't believe it happens. Keep on trading, and these things will even out. Looking for anything to trade. Oh, that was another one. Stopped out again. CAD pair. Probably should have. Nope, that's a pound US pair. Not seeing anything. We're coming down to the end here. And nothing. Okay. So currently there's nothing happening on Frank except for what's happening in the mornings with Frank. Again, remember on the daily chart, you're looking at long-term momentum. And I would expect momentum to pick up for these last 7 days of the month in the direction of a trend. In the mornings, we're looking for momentum to hang around for an hour. Let's take a look at what Frank did this morning. So we had this. What was this? This was SP 500. This Frank algo, you say, oh, can we have a copy of it and all this? He's not ready for prime time just yet. There are a couple of safeguards I still need to program in. For instance, I don't want to be in both an S&P and a NASDAQ at the same time. And I don't want to be in a gold and a silver at the same time. So what I've got to program in is say, hey, if you're in one, you can't be in the other one. So that's one I've got to program in. There was one more. I can't remember off the top of my head what safeguards I've got to put in there. So that one was a stop out this morning. And then, here we go. We had oh my goodness. So we had a loss and a win and a win and a win. So there's 3 wins and 1 loss on the last. Well, this was yesterday. So today was just 2 wins in a row for the UK 100. That was a really good one there. Another safeguard I just remembered is candle size. Normally, if I was trading this manually, I would absolutely not have taken. Let me show you this. I would absolutely not have taken where it is. Well, okay. This candle looked a lot bigger on the other chart. I do want to have a filter that says if the candle is this, right? If the candle is this size, I'm not trading it. So we'll just put an ATR filter, average true range. Hey, if this candle that's closing, that's triggering a signal, if this candle is twice as large as your average candle, then ignore the signal. So I do need to add that filter as well. This is why I'm doing this on a test account. Make sure that you don't put any money behind anything that is still untested. So we'll just take a quick look at what happened on these last week. This is S&P. So we had signal, no entry, signal in the win, signal in a loss, signal, no entry, signal, no entry, signal in a win, signal in a loss. You're seeing a pattern here, signal and a loss. Okay. Signal and a loss. Gold, oh my goodness, just win after win after win after win on gold last week. NASDAQ, same situation as one would expect as the S&P. Okay, that's enough of Frank. You see what he can do. I'm going to continue tweaking, continue building. And this is what I love about trading. You can have an idea and just go build the thing and test it. I am willing to get a rolling start on an untested strategy as I'm testing it, if it's on a practice account or a demo account. This account right here, this is my Godly Trading demo account. I'm going to use these for testing everything for the students to use to practice on. This is just an account that's going to be there forever. I don't care. I'm basically paying to have access to MT5 for everybody who needs access to it. So I don't care the results here. It's just an expense to me, it's not a prop firm I'm trying to get money from. Its entire purpose is to test things out on. So Frank will probably spend the next 2 weeks going through some more testing before we put him on his own account and let him go do his thing. Anyhow, that's the state of my flocks as of today. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and I will answer. Guys, I want to let you know that if you go to godlytrading.com, where's my banner, we've got a webinar coming up next Wednesday night. The 5 mistakes that Christian traders make that cause your struggles and how to stop making them. So a free webinar. You can register here at, where it disappeared. It was a ticker. That's why it disappeared. Go to godlytrading.com and you can sign up for free for that webinar happening next week. I'm glad Mark is not here to remind me that, hey, you were supposed to create Frank Jr. so we could all download it when you're on your cruise. I don't want to talk about it. Anyhow, guys, if there's no questions, I am going to get out of here, and I will see you all tomorrow.